Boy, what's going on, people? What's going on, people? What is going on? Heavy Hitters Live. Shut up, phone. Heavy Hitters Live Wednesday. After a week's break, decided to come to you with a good conversation today.
Yeah.
I am your host, K Styles, aka the Sixth Man, aka the Reckoner in here. To my stage right today, we got
Nah, I'm about to change that. You know how I am with there we go. All right.
this nigga. Okay.
All right, let me get on
Okay.
camera.
To my stage left now, we have the senator, Mad Mike Sports, the mad scientist is in the building. Yeah, boy. And we
Oh
have
shoot, my coffee all the way over there. Damn, I drink all the way over there. All right, I 1 minute.
as he walk over there to get refreshments, we have the minister, the calm before the storm, the first round pick. Jude Talk Sports is in the building, y'all.
Oh yeah.
What's up, people? I'm back. I'm back like MJ.
As long as you ain't do the Cam Newton, I'm back.
No, we don't need that one. No, we're not putting that on him. Nope.
We're not doing
hilarious. The Cam Newton.
I'm back.
I'm back.
And then
Just to be gone again.
Then proceed to throw 2 interceptions the very next week and end up. All right.
You said that with enthusiasm too, boy.
Exactly. Hey man, so we appreciate everybody tuning in. Like I said, if you're just getting in, make sure you go ahead, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel, as well as hit that like, share button for the Heavy Hitters Live, Jude Talk Sports, Mad Mike Sports, and the 6-man combo. So, Mike, how do we kick this show off? What do we got?
Hey! No, this man.
Oh, okay. Since he didn't want to say it, I'm gonna go ahead and say it.
I thought you was gonna play along, but I guess you don't like head anymore. All of a sudden, Cal don't like head. He liked to say it, but now all of a sudden he want to say it and put Mike Man back on the spot. I see how this show gonna start. It's all good though. It's all good.
Some of them.
This is the first time Cal done left me out on the limb on my own after something that he created. He created that. He made that a part of every show, and now all of a sudden he doesn't want to say it anymore. I got it. It's the do-rag. The do-rag made you do it. That's what the problem. That's exactly what it is. It's the damn do-rag, y'all. See, you give a black man the do-rag and he start acting funny.
No, you give a bug-eyed motherfucker a real hat, he forget where the hell he at. Nah, man, we got the roll call coming up in here.
We got the real roll call, you guys. Roll call.
And today's roll call, we're going to kick it off with Auntie Pam. She's kicking it off as the first one in the show tonight. We got King Treyway in the building. We got About Whatever. We got the franchise Big Ant in the building. Pat Norris, Terry Mitchell, Old Chicken Holler, D. Coleman, Eric Mack, Brian Peoples. Got my Peoples Yusuke is in here. ATL hometown Atlanta Falcons. Georgia, Texas boy. We got Southside 12. What the hell? Oh Lord! Now I'm already getting hit with the lock questions now.
So they know this.
See, Yeah, because I'm usually have mine hanging out the back. I said I'm gonna try something different today. How
Just
about
a
that?
little different. Yeah.
Yeah. Say I look like the Black Luca with the hair hanging out the head, man.
The Black Luca.
Boy,
Oh, is that a compliment?
Luca's a popular player, so I'll take it. But
Okay.
now I got the PM Don thing going on today. Set adrift on Memory Bliss, y'all. Y'all go listen to that song. Um, Georgia Test boy asked, "How long you been on lock?" So you hit 2 years next month. Hell, I don't remember. It's been 3 years, I think. I can't remember. But let's go ahead and get right into the show, man. Hey, fellas, how we doing this evening? Jew, Mike, how y'all doing, man? Hey, y'all make sure y'all go check out the You and I podcast with you Talk Sports and Teacher Red.
Appreciate
Yeah,
y'all.
I'm learning. I'm actually learning something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's I'm learning. I'll take that back. I'm not really learning. It's something that I kind of already knew.
I mean, we already kind of knew with a crazy
Yeah,
ass.
who's who in that relationship. I know who's who.
Oh,
And
oh,
and something about that podcast. I was listening. I was like, damn, you and I kind of a lot of like in a lot of ways. And then Amanda and I are like in a lot of ways. So it's weird. I got a lot in common with both. It was a weird because Amanda is the fiery one, and Jew is the one that likes to handle situations, right then and there. And I'm looking at both of them. It's like I'm kind of like the both of them. So yeah, you guys, I like if you really want to kind of know things about like life and relationships and just like seriously like check that podcast out because I'm definitely
oh, oh.
I'm a work in progress. So I definitely um like to watch those types of things. So yeah.
And it's coming from an actual married couple that's actually married. So,
Hmm.
so y'all
Right.
might want to take some points. So
That part, Kim. That part.
let's go ahead, goddamn. Let's go ahead and kick this show off, man. Like I said, man, today's topic tonight is the Atlanta Falcons linebacker core,
Mm.
um, as well as y'all want to just get straight into it, or do y'all have anything y'all want to talk about before we get to it?
I don't
Jew
got
like,
anything.
let's get to
I
these
don't got
linebackers.
anything, but Mike look like he might have something. I don't have nothing,
I,
man.
I I
It's
I I I did, but I was like,
Well, let's get to these linebackers, man.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Let's get to the linebackers. Let's get to it.
Auntie Pam said, "What's the name of the podcast?" Go ahead and say it for a Jew one for the one time.
so, UNI podcast.
If
You and
you
I.
can't, yeah. Think of Rick James when you see that. You and I come together. Think about that. You'll remember. And make sure you go ahead and give them a subscribe over there. Let's go ahead and get right into this linebacker course. So, if a lot of people don't know on this channel, we actually had a poll
Hmm.
which was created by Mike here, as far as the Atlanta Falcon linebacking core. Now, as we already know, Troy Anderson's coming back. JT Burt, JD Bertrand. I don't know why I want to say
Yeah,
yeah. JD Bertrand drafted. But we're specifically kind of talking about the middle linebackers here because I know people want to throw edge rusher and outside line. We talking about the middle linebackers. Hopefully, Kay Nellis can repeat his performance as well as Nate Lamon. So, Jew, we're gonna let you go ahead and run point on this one, man. Give the people your thoughts on that particular set of linebackers, and who do you think will be kind of like the breakout guy for the 2024 season?
So I did see Mike's poll, and I basically talked about Troy Anderson. He's the most intriguing linebacker to me personally, just because he got injured last year. And to me, his athleticism is crazy. Like you've heard basically Raheem Morris talk about, the first thing he said is he's fast. Like he's just a fast player. He's a fast, athletic linebacker. And personally, I like linebackers that are downhill, but I also like linebackers that are athletically gifted. And that's something that Troy Anderson brings to the table, similar to Deion Jones. Deion Jones is one of my favorite all-time Falcon linebackers. Him and Foye Aluakon, because those guys were great athletes. Not only were they, you could do everything. I don't like my linebackers necessarily just to be downhill, but I want them to be able to cover. I want them, especially in today's NFL. If this was the 90s and the 80s, then I would want my linebackers to be a little bit bigger, stronger downhill. But because there's so much coverage nowadays in today's NFL where your linebackers have to be able to cover, in today's NFL, if you can't cover, you're not going to be in the NFL long unless you're gonna change positions. Like they're gonna move you on the line. That was the biggest problem with Michael Walker is he couldn't figure out that coverage thing. He was athletic, he just couldn't figure it out. So that's why they had to just like, you know what,
Boy,
you
that
just go
ain't true.
blitz every play
Yeah.
because we won't just use your athleticism. Just put you out there like you're an outside linebacker and just go get the quarterback. So I feel like in today's game, you have to be smart, you have to be athletic, you have to be able to do everything, and it's similar to basketball. If you guys been watching this playoffs with the big, everybody got to be able to shoot threes nowadays in today's NBA. That's just how it is. It's the same thing with these linebackers. Ain't no more I can't cover. If you're a linebacker that's can't cover, you're not gonna last long in the league. So I think Troy Anderson, his athleticism, his ability to do kind of everything makes him unique. And I really feel like that makes all of our linebackers unique. Caden Ellis, all the guys we talked about, even in the inside linebackers, they can do some of everything. So I really feel like that's the advantage we have. But Troy Anderson in particular is the guy that I'm focused on because I like the athletic linebackers, the guys that can do everything, but guys that can close on these quarterbacks that are fast, that can get outside the pocket. Because in today's game as well, you have to have lateral quickness. And if you look at like the 90s, the early 2000s, those guys were mainly just straight downhill. The Ed Hartwells, you didn't have a ton of guys that was running 4.4s, 4.3s at the linebacker position because your linebackers normally were like 250 and above, far as weight wise. Now you got guys 220, you know what I'm saying, playing linebacker, 230, but you have to because you covering Kyle Pitts, you covering, all of these quick, fast Travis Kelsey. If you 250, 260 plus, you're not gonna have that lateral quickness 9 times out of 10. So I really feel like Troy Anderson's gonna be that guy that I want to see what he can bring to the table because I really feel like because of his athleticism, he's a guy where you can say, go spy Lamar Jackson, go spy, these guys that want to scramble, the Jalen Hurts, because he has that athleticism. He played dang near every position in college. He played quarterback where he was scrambling like he was a Taysom Hill. He played any position you want to think of, running back. He pretty much did it all. Then he switched to linebacker. So I really feel like Troy Anderson is that guy that I think for this Falcons team is gonna be special. But that's the guy that I'm looking at to take the next step this year because last year we really didn't get to see him, a whole lot.
Interesting. Yeah, as I'm actually listening to you, um, one thing that I see with the linebacker crew with the Atlanta Falcons is that they all of these guys can do one thing well. They're great tacklers, very good tacklers. But I want to highlight one guy in particular. And I probably just do the young guy because I want to talk about all of them, but the guy that I think um you look at him trying to figure out where and how they're gonna use him. Um, is JD Bertrand. JD Bertrand is a guy when you look at him has the athleticism. He's a unique linebacker. Like you said, like a guy like Michael Walker. He was a guy. did not have a lot of athletic. I mean, he had athleticism, but he didn't have a lot of brains. Okay, he didn't have a lot of brains. Let's just keep that real. Um, the dude was just athletically gifted, and for whatever reason, he just didn't. It just didn't pan out in the NFL. He's still a journeyman. I think he got picked up. I believe he got picked up by Dan Quinn. I'm not sure exactly, but I know that he went back. He, he
He
went
did.
to
He's over in Washington, the Commanders.
okay.
He's gone.
He did go back to Dan Quinn. So I know he was with the Bears, and then he got with Mike with Dan Quinn. But the thing with that is, what I see with JD Bertrand, when one is only one thing that bothers me when I see him. Two things really is that one, he has a tendency to his feet stop. His feet stop. And anybody knows that linebacker position, you can't stop your feet. And with these offensive linemen, with these, because there's going to be teams like the San Francisco 49ers, you stop your feet with them, they're going to run through you. Okay. So you can't allow that to happen. So, one thing that I don't think he'll receive a lot of playing time early because I do see that one flaw, and that one flaw is huge in the NFL, and you can't stop feet. You can't stop his feet. But he's one of those guys, when you look at his overall skills, um, he's great on the edge. He reminds me of a Caden Ellis. Um, he's damn good at blitzing from the middle of the field. Very good at blitzing for the middle of the field, and then he's good on the edge and in the middle and playing and tackling well. So he tackles well. He plays the edge well. But another thing, like I said, with those, when you stop your feet, can you get off those blocks? Because you're going to get blocked if you stop your feet at the linebacker position. So those are the things until he fixed that in his game as far as his feet and his feet have continuously moving, he'll be fine. But he has to fix that one flaw. But he reminds me of a lot like Caden. He plays a lot like Caden Ellis. You can put him inside, you put him outside, and they can get after. He sees the ball tackler and he gets at it. And like you said, he's one of those linebackers that gets downhill well. He gets down well and he closes well. So he closes well. He sets the edge well, but he needs to work on his feet and continuously chopping because as a linebacker, you want your feet always moving. You always want to be chopping and be in the right position. But outside of that, man, I think JD Bertrand is going to be one of those linebackers with the Atlanta Falcons that we can use in any situation, pass and in run situations. So that's what I like when I see from him.
Hmm. For those that may not know what Mike just said about keep your feet moving, if you stop, your block will get knocked off.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's why they always say, if you stay moving, you prepare for anything. But
Mm-hmm.
that's a very interesting. Those are very interesting takes from both of y'all. Which kind of leads me to a question of this magnitude: is the versatility of these guys. Well, really, outside of Nate Landman, everybody else is kind of like on the versatile scale. And you're thinking with losing a guy like a Bud Dupree. And everybody that's watching right now can answer this question too. Do you believe, who do you believe out of these four linebackers would they primarily move to be that situational outside linebacker?
Oh man,
The first
outside
in line. Because the thing about it is, we got these four guys. All four of them can't play middle linebacker at the same time.
Oof, that's tough.
Who wanna take a crack at it? Who, like you said, who do you think would be the first in line to be converted to a edge rusher? I'm using y'all term today, so I'm not throwing up a mouthful.
I would say Caden Ellis. Caden Ellis. If I had to choose between the four guys that are at the linebacker position, like that can play inside and out, it'll be Caden Ellis. He already possesses the ability. Like if you look at what he did with the Saints, that's what he primarily played was that outside hybrid because they had inside the Mario Davis that had the green
Mhm.
dot. So I was surprised to see Caden Ellis get the green dot last year, but at the same time, outside of Troy Anderson, who was going to do it? Because let's be real, none of us seen Nate Landman coming. I didn't see him coming,
Mhm.
and I
Mhm.
really feel like Nate Landman's one thing that I liked about Ryan Nielsen, and this is something I think some of our former defensive coordinators struggle with, is he never took Nate Landman out of his comfort zone. Nate Landman's biggest
Mm.
Achilles heel is he doesn't cover well. But when somebody doesn't do something well, don't make them do it. And that's pretty much what he did all season long. And like, you know what, kid? Nate Landman, blitz. You know what? Shoot the gaps and get in the backfield and make tackles for loss. Like do the things that you do well. He didn't ask him go cover the running back. Go ahead, Kate.
I want you to go ahead and say that one more time again because I don't think people in the back heard you.
I don't think they caught that.
Say that one more time.
Yeah,
What'd you say?
yeah,
Good.
one thing I loved about last year about Ryan Nielsen, one thing that I say as a defensive coordinator, what made him good or great is he never asked players to do whatever their weakness was. So if he's seen, okay, Nate Landman, we're gonna cover up his flaw to cover. We're gonna have him blitz. We're gonna have him shoot gaps. We're gonna have him play downhill all the time. And that's smart. If you know your linebackers can't cover, just look at the Saints. They don't ask the Mario Davis to cover. They say go get the quarterback, go get the running back, go downhill at all costs. Don't
Mhm.
you hardly ever see him covering anybody. But that's smart. That man has 100 tackles a season, over 100 tackles, because they don't ask him to do what he's weak, whatever his weakness is. They say stay away from that. If you Superman and kryptonite is your your weakness, we ain't gonna put you nowhere near kryptonite, and that's smart.
Yep.
So I'm just saying, like smart coaches understand we're gonna use what you do best. We're not gonna ask you to do the whatever you weak at. And that's something that I think last year we seen that Falcons defense was like, why do we play so well? Because we put guys in positions to succeed. You like the blitz, that's what you do. Okay, that's what we're gonna have you do. It was a couple times last year, and because I'm a stickler and we do, we look at the games, we watch the games over and over again, we look at film. I remember the game against the Titans where Nate Landman was in coverage and he got beat across the face and Hopkins scored a touchdown. And I was like, dang, that was Nate Landman. Like I see his small weaknesses, but the average fan, they're like, he was a Pro Bowler. He did play well, but the reason he
Mhm.
played well is they didn't ask him to do anything that he doesn't do well. They just said, do what you do best, go downhill. So I really feel like as we were just talking, like who's the best out of getting to the quarterback, go look at the guy's film. Go look at what they've done so far in the NFL. And it's Caden Ellis. If you look at his hand plays, even last year, if you look at when they asked Caden Ellis, go get the quarterback. Like they put him on the edge, he got home. So I mean, I really feel like he should have did that a little bit more last year. But I think because we were kind of shorthanded at that linebacker position, a lot of
Mhm.
people are thinking these four guys that it's going to be a problem. I don't think it's a problem. I think it's actually a great thing that you got four guys because now, guess what? Caden Ellis on third down, every time you're going to be on the edge because guess what? We can put JD Bertrand in there and say, cover somebody, cover the tight end. We can say Troy Anderson. We didn't have that luxury last year to say, pull Nate Landman off the field on third down because we know he can't really cover and let one of these other linebackers that cover well, that have the lateral quickness, you guys go do it. So it's never a problem at having good players. That's a good problem to have that you got four linebackers that may not play all the time. That's a good thing. I think a lot of us looking like how is this gonna fit? How it fits is you tell them four guys y'all gonna rotate, but we're gonna only put you in certain scenarios, and we're gonna let you do what you do best. And I think that that's going to be a great thing. Like having depth is always good. Having great players. I don't know why we always just want to have one good player. I keep saying that with the edge, like you said, edge rushers. Why do we want a guy that can get 50? 20 sacks in a season. TJ Watt, because what
Right.
happens if TJ Watt snap his ACL? Then what? We seen the
Who that?
Steelers last year.
We done.
That's
Who the
it.
other guy?
That's it.
Yeah.
Who
Now
else
you
gonna be
gotta
able to
spend
do it?
money and trade away picks to get those guys back. So the money becomes an issue.
Yeah.
So
So for me, Kaden Ellis, that's my long question. It's been a while since we did a live show, so I got a little carried away. Kaden Ellis is
no,
my
no,
answer.
no, no. Hey, man.
No, that's
They
what
love
you
it.
do.
That's
They
what
love
they
it.
do. They love it. They love it. But the reason why I asked you to repeat it again because it's such a simple ideology of putting people in the best places where they make the best plays. And this is an issue that the Falcons have had for years is we get guys that are good at something. We have certain coaches that tell them, okay, you good at this, but I want you to do this. I want you to proficiate in this. Instead of having the depth, as you say, to where you have guys that can do this and guys that can do this, where you ain't trying to burn this guy out, and then all of a sudden now he's looking like shit.
Like trying to tell Kyle Pitts to block. He's not great at it.
When the last time
Look,
y'all
he's not
seen
a complete tight end.
Travis Kelsey blocking? Tell me how much Travis Kelsey blocks for the Chiefs.
He'll chip.
He's a
That's
great
his, that's
player.
his, that's what he good at chipping. You don't
Right.
turn these guys into Charlie Warner. Charlie Warner is a great blocker. You don't turn him to John Fitzpatrick. These Levine Toilolo. He's never going to be that. Stop trying to turn these guys into things that I want you to be a complete tight end. No, I don't. If you are a great receiver, if you are very good at receiving, do that. Okay? I want him to be, and this is exactly what I was talking about earlier today. I'm saying we got people that was asking. It's like I want guys to be. It's for example, I was saying with Desmond Ritter, for example. We got Bijan Roberts, for example, Tyler Algier. Like you use these guys in position where they're good. I don't want Tyler Algier out there trying to, run routes. Like who the fuck does that? Excuse my language, but who the hell tried to do that? I don't want him out there catching passes. No, I don't. Okay, I don't want Tyler Algier. I want Bijan Robinson out there running routes. I do not want Kyle Pitts trying to block a Demarcus Ware or whoever the hell. You know what I'm saying? I don't want him doing that. No, I don't. That's crazy. I don't want Caleb McGarry out here trying to take on a outside linebacker that runs a 4-4 and a 4-3. Like that's crazy. I want him to do what he does best, and that's be an overall great over a balanced tackle. That's what he is. He's never going to be great at one particular thing. He's very good at both things. So this is why you need the coaches to come in and understand that guys need to be put in position. And that's the Falcons last year. They had a flawed roster. It wasn't that we had bad players. We had a flawed roster. Well, flawed roster, and what I mean by that, it's not that the Falcons didn't have good players. They had good players. But they had players that was good at one specific thing, and then everybody knew what that one specific thing was. They were big, and they were jump ball guys. They weren't great rock runners. They didn't have speed. And then you got the one guy on the team, and Bijan Robinson, who's the speed guy. Okay, that's the problem. So when you don't have a variety and a well-rounded roster like we have now, you can do multiple things. You're not handicapping what you can do and what the plays you can call.
We got a $2 super chat from Georgia, Texas. Boys said, "Do y'all think we would carry 6 outside linebackers?"
That's
Yes.
standard for any NFL team. That's standard, and that's probably on the low end.
Right. Like you said, like we just had the conversation about Troy Anderson, Caden Ellis, JD Bertrand. These are multitude guys that can play edge. So they actually do count towards outside linebackers as well, based on the situation. But I just use for example, and I know I kind of do this every show now, but look at the three of us. We all have a 3 specific skills that we are good at. Jude is very knowledgeable, and he will break it down. Mike does the same thing. I just ask the questions. I'm the host.
Right.
But the
Right.
thing about being the host, you have to dictate and read the room as well. So
Set the tempo.
with me doing that, they can do what they do best. And that's give y'all the stats, the facts, and the truth. I can give you stats, facts, truth too. But that's why they call me the six man. The six man ain't got to be a star.
Mm-hmm.
Six man got to make sure the whole team is right and let the stars do what they got to do.
I hate when he say that, y'all. I really. He know how much I hate when he's. I can't stand when he say that. I really don't.
Can I just
We
use it
we
as a
literally we
can,
literally
can,
got
can,
we
can,
literally got in the we literally got in a damn near argument because he said that. I was like, I'm gonna just let it go.
we're using it in the confines
I
of
got
the
you.
conversation, Mike.
I got you. I got you. I got
Sure,
Again, we only as
sure.
good as our weakest link at the end of the day. And we always say the three
Exactly.
is one. The three is one. That's what I was just talking
Right.
about with Nate Landman. You have to be able to cover the other person's weakness.
Mm-hmm.
And we
Yeah.
all
Right.
play to each other's strengths. Y'all not gonna ask me necessarily to host the show if K Styles does it better. And
Right.
that's and
Right.
that's my problem with y'all know I snapped off last year with Arthur Smith. My biggest problem was he just wasn't using guys to their strength. Like we literally
Mm-hmm.
sitting here saying Tyler Algier can get you
Oh
5 yards a
boy,
clip.
you
We
went.
struggling in the red zone, and 90% of the time, who wasn't in the game in the red zone? Tyler Algier, who could
Tyler
just
out here. Yeah.
batter ram his way down to the goal line. That's what he does. He's a battering ram. You could just get that ball to that guy, whether he got blocks in front of him or not. He gonna break
He's
two,
gonna
three
find a
tackles.
way. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he gonna find a way. But we had him out there catching screen passes, a la the Chicago game, and I almost pulled out the little bit of hair I still got.
He was struggling downfield, boy.
But that boy,
But I
boy,
mean,
that
like
boy,
he catches the 75-yard screen pass, and it's almost like, Coach, you seen what I just did? Now give me the ball again. It's like you watching a Pee Wee game when you have a star player. You give him the ball one time, he goes the length of the field for a touchdown, and then you say, "All right, son, you ain't gonna play again today." That don't even make common sense. That don't make any common sense. So like I
Mm-hmm.
said, you have Raheem Morris, talking about the reason why we didn't win last year because it was a quarterback. I don't believe that. I really feel like the coaching was the biggest problem last year was coaching. Wasn't Desmond Ritter. Yes, Desmond Ritter made mistakes, but coaching was just terrible because it was just situational situations that coaching
Mm-hmm.
coaching had to be better. So I really feel like this year I'm watching the coaching and the different at different times in the game. I always say those 2, 3, 4 plays in the game when this is going to be for the game. This is going to decide the game. What is Coach Raheem Morris going to do? Is he going to put the right players in? Is he going to press the right buttons? That's what a head coach is supposed to do. Press the right buttons at the right time. That's it. Your job is easy. Call the timeouts when you're supposed to call timeouts. Challenge when you're supposed to. Like the job is not hard. It's not that hard. We
It's
make it
not.
harder
It's
than
not
it is.
hard.
You see what your guys do well, do it. Whatever that player does well, do that and keep doing it. Because what we continuously said about the Falcons, I know I'm going on my rant, is we
go ahead,
always
man.
go away
Hey, I
from
told
what
you.
works. Y'all said how many times we said that with Dan Quinn? Anytime something was working, we're gonna go away from what works. That was
Hey,
our
start doing that damn cover three. Never mind. Never mind. Never flashback.
Yeah, I mean, I
No,
don't know what it is. It's just like that should be our mantra. We go away from what works. Whatever we see that just work, guess what? We ain't gonna do that again this game. That's been our biggest problem. Is we just don't have
Yep.
common sense is not common. We don't have common sense. We see something work and we say, "Oh, that was luck. That won't nothing." 75-yard touchdown. Oh, that was an aberration. Let's go back to what was. I, I
That's
can't. I
right.
don't know what. I don't know what to
That's
so,
say,
right.
fellas.
Run his fullback sweep. That should work.
Oh look, hold on. Georgia said Smith didn't utilize his playmakers or protect the quarterback. Let me tell y'all something. That Washington game was an aberration of what the fuck you just talking about. Where you're going against a Washington team whose corners are pressing your wide receivers, why the hell are we putting Van Jefferson in slant situations against press coverage?
I'm about to have a Jew moment.
Hey,
Oh man,
bro.
Let's we can talk. We can talk.
we got a 6 foot, 185 wide receiver running. He's supposed to use his body to clear out defenders. Ain't nobody scared of him. Who's scared of Van Jefferson? And that's why that DB end up getting the pick off this. Really, because you put little behind Van Jefferson in a situation where he shouldn't have been. That's where you use the Travis Kelce. You use their body and their size to clear out space. Okay, you use the guy to cut the big guy. You ever seen in basketball where they set picks with Steph Curry? No, they don't. They use Draymond Green. They use Mooney. All those guys to clear space. Okay, that's what big guys are supposed to do. They're supposed to be security. All right, that's what they're supposed to do. They're not here to run 9 routes and like we had Kyle Pitts out here running damn clear out routes. Wow, we got Scotty Miller and Van Jefferson for that. But no, we using Van Jefferson to clear out bodies. Like
Running goddamn tight end to tight end halfback passes in the red zone. A tight end jet sweep in the red zone.
man, look.
We got Richie Grant going 1-on-1 in the slot against DeAndre Hopkins. What the fuck was that shit?
Mm-hmm.
But just like you said, and just like Mike said as well, you put them in the wrong positions, you go away from what works for them. That's when a lot of mistakes is gonna happen. We seen it with Vic Beasley.
Mm-hmm. Vic Bees was actually a good player, but that's what happens when coaches kill players' confidence. You kill these guys' confidence, and they want to retire because you're not putting them in position to succeed and feel better about themselves. Like I said, this is why I saw earlier, and this is what K Style was talking about. Kev and you, I had them on my radar long before they even knew it. I already knew what I wanted. I said I wanted Kev, I wanted you. All right, and we gonna have a show. They had no clue that I had this already because I knew that Jew was already because I was a huge fan of his channel. I was watching him long before he even knew, and then he became one of my. These two became two of my favorite, my first uh, 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 protege, so to speak. But I knew where I wanted them to be. Kev was the host. Jew was gonna come in and give you guys the facts, stats, and the truth. But I'm 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 so to speak that the energy of the group. And this is why you need these different aspects. Again, you got a guy like Raheem Morris because let's this is a perfect example too. Kyle Pitts. He's a guy you look at him, you don't know if he happy or he's sad. Dude ain't got no like last year. I didn't know if the dude was depressed. I ain't know nothing. He just looked like he was just out there. The dude wasn't smiling. He looked like he wasn't trying to run fast. It like he just was out there. But this is why you need a guy like Raheem Morris. He's a guy. He's the energy. If you just put him in the room, he's the loudest. He's the funniest. He's the happiest. He's all that. He put everybody in position and make these guys. And this is why guys like Grady J like him. It's because he's the energy. He makes everybody want to play. He gives you that extra step and that pep in his step. So this is why you need these different types of personalities and different types of skill set for everything to work well together. And that's why, again, this is why the heavy hitters. Dunn is the guy that he puts the vision together. It's like when Dunn puts the vision together, he tell us, all right, this is why I have a vision. This is the guy we're gonna have on the show. And it's like, all right, this is exactly what we are. But you need all of that. You need all of that to come together and have a successful team. And this is why successful teams work, is because they use all of their skill set and not just one particular skill set. Running the ball like Lamar Jackson. I just had to throw that.
Goddamn,
Yeah,
goddamn,
that damn fool. Who the
God.
hell say he sucked as a quarterback and say, you know what? I'm gonna lose 20 pounds and I'm gonna run more.
God, goddamn, got Drake London running 20-yard post routes on a consistent basis. You know,
It's stuff like that. So like Juice said, it ain't. That's why he was so upset with, and I couldn't blame him. I could not blame him. Why are you not? It's not that difficult. Use the players the way it's common sense. But we make things so much more difficult than what they need to be.
mm,
Stop overthinking. As you said, you hit the nail on the head, Mike. He killed the team's confidence. Like we said, why are these players looking the way that they're looking? They weren't confident because he was putting them in bad situations. It's just like with Vic Beasley. Dan Quinn, they killed his confidence because they asked him to do things that weren't his strengths. If you have players do what they're good at and they are succeeding at that, they're going to build their confidence. I said the first time Desmond Ritter got benched, his confidence is killed now. He just killed his confidence. Because now when you come in, you're going to be gun shy. Because your first thing he said, if you guys listened to once he got back in the game, was, I didn't want to make a mistake. I didn't want to, they told me to protect the ball. So instead of him going out there and letting it rip, it's like now every throw, every little minute detail, you're not playing free. It's like it's in your head at this point. Where early in the season was like, okay, I know it's my show. I'm just gonna, let it rip, play football, read and react. But now it's like once I get in the game, because I don't want to get benched again. Like you said, it's you playing tight now. So every little minute detail is like you in your own head at that point. So that's the biggest thing. You put it perfect. He killed the team's confidence, and that's what you just said about Raheem Morris. You got to know what buttons to press. You got to know what players you got to kick in the butt and yell at and scream at, and then you got to know what players you got to put your arm around them. Every player is not
Mm-hmm.
the same. Every player is not the same. You can't yell and scream at everybody. Some players need you to put their arm around them and say, you're going to get them next time. This is what we
Mm-hmm.
need to do. Some players you need to holler and scream at because that's what gets them amped up. Some players like to be hollered and screamed at and slapped around before the game. I don't know if you guys
Mm-hmm.
seen, I don't know
I,
what player that
I,
was.
I definitely have.
Somebody
I
slapped
definitely have.
or
Yeah,
goddamn
I don't
Big
know what player
John
that was.
Henderson talking about, yeah, man, slap
Yeah,
me.
yep, yeah, exactly.
He
Mm-hmm.
said, how you gonna disrespect me and not slap me and no blood coming out of my mouth?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm not messing with you. We good.
right, exactly. But every player, you got, like I said, you got to know what buttons to press. And I just feel like Arthur Smith, as you said, Kay, you just said it a minute ago. Learn how to read the room. Everybody is not the same. You got to know what players, what buttons to press. If you press the wrong button, everything goes down the drain for the whole team. And I feel like that's what happened last year. The team lost confidence. He made everybody lose their confidence to the point where they didn't have, like, what are we playing for? They stopped playing for each other, and they really stopped playing for him, to be honest, because
Mm-hmm.
at some point you start tuning out a coach. If you see that you feel like he don't know what he's doing, you start tuning him out. You just like, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the tale of two halves of that season. It went from confidence to gunshot. And a lot of things that people may not think about with football players, if you're thinking too much on that field, you've already lost the
You
battle.
already lost.
You've
Mm-hmm.
already lost the battle. Football is a reactionary game. You have to trust your instincts. It's an instincts game. This
And
is why
mentally, you
practice
doing what
this.
Mike said. You stopping your feet. As he talked about stopping your feet,
Mm-hmm.
you literally, once you mentally are going, it don't matter. Mentally, you stopping your feet because you're not reading and reacting. You're thinking the game. You're not playing the
Right,
game. Everything is,
right.
I'm a step behind. What y'all say about Richie
Mm-hmm.
Grant? He's always one step behind
Yeah.
it. Well, that's the
Mhm.
reason, because he's not reading and reacting. So you are going to be one step behind because you kind of like, I'm thinking it before I'm doing it. I'm not reacting.
Right.
I'm okay. Where am I? Where I supposed to be? Okay. So you always gonna be a step behind. You want guys to play fast. As I made the video about, you heard Jimmy Lake talk about he wants them to play fast, physical, free. He want them to read and react. Nate Landman,
Read and
I said
react.
last
Mhm.
he just reads and reacts. That's why people like his game. You watch Nate Landman, if he gonna make a mistake, he gonna make it fast. It's gonna be a bad. He
Mm-hmm.
just gonna hole. It might be
Yep.
the wrong hole, but he gonna hit a hole.
You
That's
gonna
all
hit
that
it.
matters. He gonna hit whatever's moving.
Yep.
Whatever's moving, Nate Landman gonna hit it.
I don't even do it. Don't even go there, kid.
I'm
Shut
not
up.
going there. I'm not
Shut
doing
up.
it. I'm not doing it. I'd have had enough Mike Davis jokes for one season. I am not doing that no more. No.
I already
But
do.
but
Oh
like you
boy.
said, man, hey, if you mess up, like you said, if you mess up and get your keys wrong, hey, just make sure you don't make that damn mistake again.
Mm-hmm.
And that, my friends, is the key to football. That's why they say the game is more mental than it is. It's physical as hell,
Very physical.
but it's one. Like I said, it's one between Monday through Saturday.
That's why you need court. That's why you at the quarterback position is the most mentally fragile. Besides the kicker, um, positions in the league is because once they're in their head when they miss a kick, especially kickers, we see kickers all the time. One terrible Scott Norwood moment, like the dude is shattered. Like most kickers are shattered once they have that one moment. And that's the same thing with a quarterback. This is why you want your quarterbacks to be able to get over and throw that interception. You want to see him fail early and just to see how he bounced back. If a kid bounced back fast after throwing an interception, fumbling the ball twice. Like, and this is where Desmond Ritter did not fail as a player. He was failed as um, the coach failed him. And what we mean by that is like, yeah, he threw that horrible interception in Carolina, but he should have never, again, sound like you, he should have never been in that position to begin with. You should have dumbed the playbook down. You should have used his legs, used his athleticism so it can gain confidence. This is why you build up guys. This is how you build up guys like Justin Fields. All right. And Justin Fields has to know as a quarterback, you're not ready to throw every route. You're not ready to throw every ball. Like you have to understand it's like right now, I'm not reading the field like a quarterback should. So he's gonna dumb the playbook down so you can eventually and gradually build that confidence. And then when it's time to throw that ball, you're gonna zip that mug and you're not gonna think. So this is why quarterbacks have to trust their coaches because the coaches is going to what they're going to do early in your career is they're going to give you a little bit at a time. They're not going to give you a bunch. And most quarterbacks, when you give them too much, they end up in like a David Carr. We saw what happened to David Carr. They gave him way too much early in his career and you literally destroyed that man's career because they gave him the same thing with
Ooh, boy.
and I'm gonna say this too. This is not gonna be a popular one, but this is exactly what happened to Andrew Luck. They gave him way too much early. They said, "All right, you ready to be uh, 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 a Matt Ryan, a Tom Brady right now?" And you just went out here and threw the ball 40, 50 times a game. Yeah, he has the talent, but mentally he wasn't there. And physically you didn't protect him. So you got these are the things as coaches you have to do to protect these players for themselves. Man, look, coaching is an art form. It's easy, but it's an art form. Again, it's easy, but it's an art form. The art form is the hardest part of it, and knowing when to do it. And that's why K Styles, me personally, I say K Styles is the MVP of all of AFN is because he sets the tempo. Him and Warren, they host the show. They set the tempo. The flow of the show because hosting shows, man. Like, look, if you never hosted a show and you up here just you know just just talking and look, I can ramble on and on and on. Y'all know I've done hour and 30 shows, sometimes 2 hour shows, because I'm just rambling and rambling and rambling. But it's an art form, and this is what you have to have that skill set. And some people don't have that skill set, and they just ramble on and ramble on and ramble on. Exactly what I'm doing right now. You see what I'm saying?
But yeah, man. Whew. Hey,
Yeah,
man,
yeah, this is one of them shows where it's like, yeah, we didn't know we were gonna go down this road, but we
we
end
ain't
up
go
going down
down,
this road.
going down this road. The death of any young player is to not put him in the position and kill his confidence. Just like
Hmm.
I said, that's the death of any young player. And did y'all notice? Y'all brought up the word quarterback. Do you see the viewership just went up? I'm
Yep.
just letting you know that. I'm making notes of that, y'all.
Yeah, don't do that.
It's about 7 of y'all that just showed up in this motherfucker that we didn't see until the term quarterback came up.
Oh, what?
Hey, look, I see y'all now.
I see you.
But
Peekaboo.
getting back to the linebackers, this is what the expectation is, me personally, for them. Like you said, you've built up the Drew's favorite word. You built up them trenches enough to protect these linebackers.
Hmm.
Just don't get cute with them. Do what you got to do.
And that's how we got into it. That's how we got into the conversation. Is we got 4 linebackers. We're using them in the way they know because they have different skill sets. So that's how we got into the conversation. Just to clear that up.
Okay. But
Y'all can blame
but
me because I started talking about Arthur
hey,
Smith. But
hey, no, no,
I just
no,
hate,
no. That's good. That's good. Because the
I just
thing
don't like to
about
see
it,
players don't you're not use get used to their right potential. That's all it is.
Hmm.
It's like I can watch a game and see like, oh, they ain't using that kid right, or that he's not in the right position. So I think that's another reason why, and I don't mean to interrupt you, Kay. I think that's the reason
no, you
why
good.
I always like defend players. Like everybody was ready to attack me about Richie Grant. Everybody was ready to attack me. I'm like, but I look at everything. I look at all sides and aspects of it. I don't just look at if a player's getting torched. I look at why the player's getting torched. So I don't just look at, okay, I see this one person getting killed, but instead of us saying like, look, he can't cover this guy, let's just make him do something else. No, let's just let this same guy get torched on the same route or over route or whatever it is. And to me, that's bigger than just a player. That's coaching to me. And probably because I am a coach, it just ticks me off when I see we evidently see this player can't do whatever you asking him to do. But instead of putting him in a better position, it's like, no, at the end of the game, all the fans, we all just gonna point at this one player, but it's like, what was the way that we could have fixed the problem? What could have changed this game? Whether it's take him out
Hmm.
the game, whether it's put him in another position and put somebody else on that particular player. We see, like I said, I'm seeing it in the playoffs. I'm literally watching the NBA playoffs like,
Oh my
why is
God. Yeah.
Anthony Towns not down low? You 7 foot, but you shooting threes, and you got guys like Jones Jr. covering you that's 6'6". Just get in the post and just bully them and get them in foul trouble. Like, but we gotta be cute. Everybody want to play the same way. Let's everybody just shoot threes. We all think that we the Warriors. Let's just all do. Let's play the same way. Let's just play the same way and hope we win. And we wonder why the Warriors were dominating. Because you're playing their game. You're not gonna beat Steph Curry at shooting threes. I'm sorry. You're just not gonna.
No.
That's what he do.
I just had a thought. I'm glad you said that, you. That's why I wasn't worried about you interrupt. I was gonna let you keep going because you actually ran into something that just came to my mind that I just thought about. That was the same thing everybody said about Isaiah Oliver.
Hmm.
Who was the coach that made the switch?
Raheem Morris.
Raheem Morris put him in that position. He found, but this is something that I had told everybody he would be right for that position, and damn near Raheem did exactly what I said. I made the video on. I said this dude is gonna be he'll be a good slot corner and free safety. End up putting him right there, and he unfortunately had an injury, but that's what he excelled at. And then he go to San Francisco, and they try to turn him into a corner again.
A boundary
A
corner.
boundary corner. Like
And my
it's like I
problem,
said,
what was
coaching man.
like before that? Before he was playing that rover positioning in the slot, everybody's narrative was Isaiah Oliver suck, and we clearly was like,
Mm-hmm.
he don't suck. He just suck at what they have him doing. It's a difference from actually sucking and actually not be able to play and actually
Mm-hmm.
being put in a role. I'm not gonna ask Trey Young to go down in the post when clearly he can handle the ball and he can shoot threes. Let's make it make
Yep.
sense. I'm not gonna ask Isaiah Oliver where he can tackle well, but he played the same role that Brian Poole played. Slot, can tackle well in space, short area quickness, not the fastest, a long strider, but you got to understand what guys do well. And that's what I love about when we do the little breakdowns on the draft, the guys when we do the draft. It's like you got to see and understand guys' skill set. If you don't understand their skill set, you're not going to be a good coach because you're not going to understand where players need to be, what role they need to play. That's coaching. That's what I kept saying last year. Y'all was like, so that's coaching. Like everybody don't suck. Everybody don't suck.
I don't.
Our big thing is cut everybody. Everybody sucks. No, they don't. Because
No.
this year, the core of this team is still, a lot of the players from last year are still here. So we have a better season. What's going to be the excuse now if Kyle Pitts has a 1,000-yard season? What's going to be the excuse? I was told he sucked. If Drake London, I made a video saying Drake London's a superstar. People coming at me saying he can't separate. What do you mean? Well, if the guy's 6'5" and can jump and catch the ball,
You don't need to separate.
Thank you. Just throw it up. Just throw it to
the
It ain't rocket science. Hey, look, just like this. Throw that up there.
Drake London is down there somewhere. Throw it up. He down there. Number 5 is down there somewhere with a 5.
Calvin Johnson, Randy Moss. Like Randy Moss wasn't the blaze. He didn't have blazing speed the way people think he is. He just knew he knew how to go up and go get the ball. He uses his physical gifts, and that's what you do if you put them in position where they can succeed.
I think Randy Moss had some speed like a motherfucker, but
it wasn't like no 4.2, 4.1 that like Randy Moss ran like a sub 4.3.
It was a sub 4.3. His problem was if he wasn't running that go route, he wasn't worth it.
He wasn't doing. Yeah, he was Calvin Ridley before Calvin Ridley. I'm gonna just say that. I'm gonna keep it 100. He's a Hall of Famer, but Randy Moss was Calvin Ridley before Calvin Ridley. All this dude did was catch the ball on the boundaries, and that's perfectly fine.
But like you
said, you got coaches that knew how to use his gifts and didn't ask Randy. No, I'm not asking no Randy Moss to go across the middle and take a hit. Well, why am I gonna do that?
Unless you're trying to lose it for the season, go ahead and run across.
Right.
Go ahead.
Like sometimes
go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it.
Come on, man. Again, that's coaching. Everybody talking about Richie Grant sucked. He didn't suck. We got to ask Coach. Coach said this on his show several times. Why is Richie Grant always by himself?
He's a safety. He's not a cornerback.
Let me say it again. Let me say it again. If Richie Grant is always getting burnt, why is Richie Grant by himself?
On a 6'6", 6'7" McBride tight end, what are they doing? What I tell them to do with Drake London and Kyle Pitts? Throw it up. Richie Grant is 6'1". Throw it up. He can't stop. McBride is like 6'5". If you see Richie Grant 1-on-1, they told Kyler Murray, throw it up.
Throw it up.
Be a catch or interference. He can't stop him. He's too big. Post him up like you a center. You got a 6'1" dude on you. You 6'5". Throw it up. The worst can happen is it's gonna be a catch, incomplete, or a dang old pass interference. That's what I'm saying with Drake London. If you see him, Drake London down there somewhere, throw it up.
Throw
If
it
it's
up.
one on one,
It's not.
throw it up.
Let me ask
Nah, that
y'all a
different.
question. Since we kind of till it to getting into the wide receivers, let me ask y'all a question. I want to ask everybody in the chat here a question. When the last time we see the fade route in the red zone?
We got Kyle Pitts. He's 6'6". But we don't see fade routes.
That's a legitimate question. When's the last time we seen a play concept of a fade in the red zone for the Atlanta Falcons?
You got Drake London, who's a former basketball player, 40-inch vertical, and you're going to say, you know what? All you're going to do is run in routes. All you're going to do is run slant routes. We ain't going to never throw you no jump ball. The only time we're going to throw you a jump ball is at the end of the game where it's a Hail Mary, where you actually caught it 5 yards short of the end zone. Like, come on, man. Like I said, it just makes sense. It just don't make sense.
And everybody talk
sense.
about creativity. That's the thing. You don't need to be you don't need to be creative. I want an offense to be more creative. For what?
A lot of
Throw
times,
the damn ball to a 6'6" guy. Look, it's not rocket science when it comes down to sports. If you got a Klay Thompson, a Steph Curry, and these guys are very good at shooting. I don't want them passing the ball. I don't pass it. Shoot it. I don't want him setting screens.
We're going to tell Klay to set screens and cut to the basket and go 1-on-1.
I'm about to say y'all don't want Andre Drummond out here taking step back threes.
Man, look, come on, man.
Look, that's what we want, okay? We want our bigs doing dumb stuff, shooting threes. That's what's wrong with the NBA right now. We got everybody shooting threes. When you shooting less than a certain percentage, don't even be out there. Back in the 90s, that's gonna get you on the bench quick.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. People don't have IQ. There's no more IQ. It's just like everybody plays the same way when we all are not created equal. Steph Curry has a God-given gift to be able to shoot the ball. Period. He's the best at it. So you're not gonna beat him doing what he does best. So don't try. Drake London is not the greatest route runner. So am I going to ask him to do that? Or am I just going to tell him to go down there and throw it up? If you go look at Megatron, most of his highlights, what is it? Them throwing it up. Throw it up. And give him an opportunity.
That's why his foots wasn't worth a damn at the end of his career.
That's why he had a bad back, because he kept coming down on his head first, coming down on, going up for them jump balls. But at the end of the day, one thing I can say is they played to his strengths. They didn't ask him, guess what? Let's just run bubble screens with Megatron all day. Let's just get the ball. Let's not just throw it, use his ability to leap. We're not going to use none of that. And that's what I feel like has been missing, is we're not keying in on what players do best. Key in on that. Whatever the player does best, do that the most. I'm not saying don't ever throw a swing pass to Tyler Algier, because then you become predictable. But look at a guy like King Henry. Do you see him catching passes? I don't see him doing that. King Henry always hand that ball, go run. That's it.
That's it. It's not rocket science.
And this man, an all-pro, been doing that the same thing. The same thing.
I swear I had this conversation today, dude. I literally had this same conversation. It's not I'm talking about I want an offensive coordinator with creativity. No, I don't. I just want one with common damn sense to get the ball to them. And this is why you want these quarterbacks. A quarterback know when he got a Julio Jones and when he got somebody with stone hands. He's not gonna throw to that mother. He's not gonna throw to a guy that's not gonna catch the ball. A quarterback is not gonna call a play to like. And this is why I do like guys like Kyle Shanahan, because Kyle Shanahan goes, look, if you're not gonna catch the ball, I'm not gonna call you to play. I'm gonna keep giving the ball to the guy that's hot. Now, occasionally he would do some Kyle Shanahan stuff and he'll do something ignorant, but you look at his offenses, whoever's the hot guy, he gonna ride the hot guy. It's just simple as that.
Let me give y'all some case K-Styles mindset when it comes to that topic, Mike. The most creative offenses utilizes the basics. Let
And
me
they
say
run
that
it
again.
over and
Yeah.
over again
The most
until it
So
creative
breaks.
yep.
offenses utilizes the basics. What are the basics? Using guys properly, not overthinking, not trying to get too cute in situations.
Tight end, tight up. No man.
Tight end passes, flea flicker reverses with the third string tight end slash fourth string quarterback. Essentially, the quickest thing I say is keep it simple, stupid. That's the most creative offenses in this league. Keep it simple, stupid. Sean McVay in LA. How you know how simple their offense was? Bubble screen, the Cooper Cup. Slants, the Puka Nakua. This is what Zach Robinson is bringing here in Atlanta.
And run the ball with Kyrie. With like
Kyron Williams.
that's what they did. So it's like it's not like play calling isn't something super creative. Now, when you talk about creativity, all the creativity is in these days was exactly why um I consider Andy Reid the greatest offensive mind in the history of the NFL. Is because he doesn't like when something isn't working, he's not going to keep running a cover three like some dumbass coaches. Like we got some dumb coaches. Like when something ain't working, you don't keep doing it. Andy Reid say, "Yeah, we not running the ball. I'm going to use my quarterback as the running back right now. Until my running back gets going, until my running back get hot, I'm going to use my quarterback to get us 5, 3, 2 yards here and there, and then we get better field position. We're not 2nd and 10. All right, now where we get using the quarterback to extend the play, move out of the pocket, stay in the pocket, use a power, every once in a while, use a power draw. Like you using these types of things in certain situations. This is why, like I said, Andy Reid is the greatest because he doesn't do the same dumb crap over and over again.
He does what works. That's all we gotta say, Mike. He
Mm-hmm.
does what works.
That he
I don't
does
want to
what
watch this
works.
man in the biggest game in the Super Bowl run the same play, score touchdowns 3 different times.
Mm-hmm.
The game touchdown where he ran with McCole Hartman, that's the same touchdown that
The
Kadarius Tony
same.
scored against the Eagles 2 years
Mm-hmm.
ago. Same exact play. But why did he run it again? Because it worked twice against the Eagles. So guess what I'm gonna do when I play against the 49ers? Run that same exact play with a player zigzags or run back out. They call corn
Mm-hmm.
dog. He ran the same
Yep.
exact thing.
The
The
same
same
play.
play. He don't care if you've seen it before. It didn't get stopped before, so I'm gonna see if it work again. Why am I stop? For what? So they
Exactly.
can make sense. I ain't gonna stop. It worked twice. Easy touchdown. So I'm gonna do it again and see if somebody gonna figure it out.
And you said the greatest. You said the greatest thing right there. You know what I'm about to do, and you can't stop it.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta show
Yeah.
me you can stop it. Until you show me you can stop it, I'm gonna run it,
I'm
keep
a
running
keep.
the same play.
That's the biggest difference between a coach like Arthur Smith and Andy Reid. If I know this shit working, I'm gonna stick with it. If I know this shit gonna work, I'm gonna try something different. Or
There's no
Dan
secret
Quinn.
there.
It's called 2 words: common sense. That's common sense. That's all it
You
is.
knew that
Common sense.
Jamal Anderson was gonna get that ball between the tackles. Stop it.
Right.
And what?
Exactly.
You
Brett
knew
Favre
George was
was
gonna get the
known.
ball at the end of the game. Are you gonna double team him? They knew Luca was gonna get the ball at the top of the they want to switch
Mm-hmm.
and put Rudy Gobert on him. So they said, guess what? We're gonna keep running this
All
pick
right.
and roll. Y'all gonna switch it. they know what you're gonna do, so they're gonna continue to do it until you stop it.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
make the adjustment. I'm gonna keep running that same play over and over again. Call Rudy Gobert up here, set the screen, let Luka go one on one. See y'all double team
Yep.
trap.
Oh,
They get
Lord.
embarrassed every time.
Look at this. Look at this. Oh, the Smith. If it's not working now, hopefully it eventually will. There y'all go. But
But it
but
goes
but
back to what you're
but
saying, K-Star.
but the thing about it is, a lot of people do know that most football play calls, only the first 15 plays are scripted. Keys and tendencies dictate the rest of the game. So creativity is what y'all think it is.
No, you're exactly right, Kay. It comes down like what I said again. Personnel. Do you understand personnel? Do you have your players do those things that they do well? If you look at the Miami Dolphins, it's schematics. That's why I say like we all could be coaches. No disrespect to the guys that are in the league right now. You could be a coach in the NFL right now if you understand personnel. What guys do well, put them in those positions to do what they do well. Period. It's nothing great that McDaniels is doing. Think about, and you just said Shanahan. Think about RG3 first year in the league when they went to the playoffs. He won Rookie of the Year. They
Mm.
literally ran RPO the whole time. You make the one read, the guy cuts across the middle. You either pull it down and run, you throw it across the middle on the skinny post. Simple as that. That was their whole offense. And they got to the playoffs. He won. That was their whole.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't. RG3
Yep.
didn't start shooting, if you guys remember, until he said, "I don't want to run anymore." His dad got involved. I want to be Peyton Manning, and I want to open up the offense. I don't want to run this dumbed down offense anymore. That's when everything went to hell.
Sounds familiar, don't it? Huh? Chicago Bears fans, it sounds really familiar. He started seeing success at the quarterback and said, "No, I don't want to do what the coach tell me." You were playing better as a quarterback, Fields, until you got in your own head. You pulled exactly what RG3 and ruined your own career because you wanted to do what you wanted to do.
And it goes back to what we said earlier. You got to read the room. You
So you
got
gotta know what you're good at too.
you got to read the temperature of the game. You got to read when the momentum swing comes. This is what Hall of Fame coaches do well. They may some coaches may not have guys that have the most cutesy NFL blitz style offense where we running zigzags and shit. The best coaches know in situations, as Juice said earlier, this is my guy, and this is who I need to get the ball, or this is a defender that I need to free up to get the sack. This is what we've seen from defensive players: Deion Sanders, Ray Lewis, Jesse Tuggle, Brian Urlacher, Simeon Rice, Julius Peppers. In critical situations, and I just throwing a bunch of older names in here, um, but in situations like that, the coaches are going to get these guys in the best position they can to make the biggest play in the biggest moment. People forgot Kansas City in the AFC Championship game and the Super Bowl. They struggled offensively. One situation, well, except for the AFC Championship game, because the Kansas City offense didn't score a point in the second half. I think they tried to give away the game to Baltimore, and Baltimore fucked it up. But
Mm-hmm.
that Super Bowl, we saw Patrick Mahomes throw a Jesus ball in the first quarter, or was it the second quarter, if I'm trying to remember correctly, that connected. Later in the game, pulled that same play out and scored on it because the coach knows the situation and he knows the temperature of the momentum of the game. Oh yeah. Creativity on offense doesn't mean what you think it is.
Mm-mm.
Nope.
You
It
you
don't mean
just got
nothing if you don't know what you're doing. It don't mean a thing. You can be as creative as you want to be, but if you don't understand, and you mentioned Lamar Jackson, I thought you was finna go down that road. That's the reason why Lamar Jackson they lost the AFC Championship game because he wouldn't run.
Yep.
He wouldn't run.
He wouldn't
Your
run.
best ability is to run the ball. Take off.
here's
Stop
the
worrying about
problem.
what everybody say about you being able to pass from the pocket. One thing I like about Michael Vick, if he see a lane, he gone. Period. He's not trying to prove nothing to nobody. If I got to run every time, y'all gonna leave a lane, and y'all know that I can beat a guy one on one. I'm gonna use my strength. Everybody got on the previous Greg Roman, his previous offensive coordinator, because like all they want to do is run the ball and all they want to do this, and they need to open up the offense. But no, that's his best strength. So play to your best strength, because when you go away from that, you see what happened. A loss. You saw what happened in the against Kansas City. He looked terrible. Lamar Jackson looked terrible. I ain't give him a pass. I was rooting for him. I thought they were going to win, but I didn't see him going into that game all of a sudden just saying I'm not going to run. What made him the MVP was not his arm. What made him the MVP is he played to his strengths. His strengths is his legs. I don't care that what people say. He need to stop worrying about what the media and everybody says about him. You do what you do. Running the ball makes you great. So do what makes you great. Michael Vick knew that his legs made him great. His athleticism made him great. So he stuck to that. That's my problem with a lot of these players is they want to be like every other player or they care about what people are saying about them. Do what you do. What makes you, you got to understand and what Mike said. You got to understand as a player what makes you you. What makes Lamar Jackson great is his athleticism, period. It ain't that he can't throw. That's not your best attribute. Be cool with that. Accept it. Embrace it.
Lamar Lamar Jackson's greatest kryptonite in the playoffs is against teams that play him with quarters defense.
And
Y'all don't know
himself,
what.
because he refused to do what he does best. Like he beat him. I really feel like he beat
Mhm.
himself in that AFC Championship game because he refused to run. I seen numerous times where he could have just took off, like Mike said, get 2 yards, get 3 yards, get. But what did he do? Sit there in the pocket, sit there, hold the ball, hold the ball, hold the ball to the last opportune moment. And it's like, bro,
Yeah, I
just
was screaming, "What are you doing? Run!
just
What are you
run.
doing?"
Yeah, just run. Forget what the critics got to say. Just run. Do what makes you great. Pat Mahomes know his arm make him great, so he not gonna not throw the ball. He ain't gonna say I'm gonna come into this game and all I'm gonna do is run when he know his arm would make him great. Like make it make sense, dude. Just take off. Forget what we talking about. We don't matter. We talking here. We don't matter. Do what you Lamar Jackson. Do what makes you special. Your legs are what makes you special. Behind the mic is what make us special. We all got our own God-given ability, but you got to embrace it. And he hasn't learned that until he fully embraces who he is. He's never going to achieve reach his highest point. He got to embrace who he is.
I don't remember Dennis Rodman out there shooting threes because people say he wasn't a good offensive guy. He said, "Oh, and
That motherfucker Dennis Rodman was like,
I'm one of the greatest defenders, arguably the greatest defender and rebounder the game has ever seen. So what? I don't care. I don't look. That dude will have 25 rebounds, 30 rebounds, 10 assists, 10 steals, and 0 points. He don't care about no offense if he doing everything
that,
else well.
that man Dennis Rodman is one of the greatest psychological disruptors I've ever seen.
Ever, ever,
That's his
ever.
game. Psychological disruption is his
Hmm.
game.
That man don't care about no dang on points.
But he
For
didn't care
what?
what we had to say about him either. He didn't
Mm-mm.
care.
No.
What the media said. That man was out here wearing dresses and all. Before all this other stuff, this man was out here doing what he was living his best life. He didn't care what we had to say.
Yep.
Exactly. So the moral of today's show is basically you got to play to your strengths and learn to read the room.
Mm-hmm.
This just not just football here, but this is life in general. And trust me, it makes your life a whole lot easier. So we're gonna go ahead and wind it down tonight, fellas. Um, y'all got any last words before we get off of here?
Yep.
I just want to say one thing and I'll be done. But Kay, you hit it on the head. I feel like we gave a life lesson tonight.
Yes.
Everybody on here is one of one. You got to be your best version of yourself. I want to see everybody win. Like I seen a post earlier today with just saying like I'm everybody's biggest fan. I'm rooting for everybody to win. But we up here preaching tonight. Like I want everybody to be the best version of themselves. Forget what everybody else thinks about you, what everybody else says about you. If nobody tells you that they care about you, know that Jew is your fan. I want everybody to walk away from tonight. Be the best version of yourself. You one of one. What makes you special? Nobody can be you. Nobody can be Mike. Nobody can be K Styles. Nobody can be whoever you are in the chat. You got to be the best version of yourself. That was one of the reasons why I love Allen Iverson. Before LeBron came in the league, Allen Iverson was my favorite player because he didn't care what people had to say about him.
Oh
He didn't
yeah.
like to practice. He talked about his tattoos and him wearing his chains and his throwback jerseys and baggy jeans and baggy clothes. He embraced who he was. That's what made him special because he wasn't trying to be Michael Jordan. He wasn't trying to be Kobe Bryant. He was trying to be the best Allen Iverson he could be. So that's one thing that I loved about Iverson was he was authentic. So if you don't take anything from the night or you didn't, get anything from the night, be your best version of yourself. I'm rooting for you, but I want you to be you. Don't try to be nobody else because nobody can be you. God made you special. So be that one of one that God created.
Look, man, that's pretty much. I second that emotion. At the end of the day, like I said, it just comes down to just knowing what your gifts are. I know what my gifts are. Because as a kid growing up, you try to figure out, all right, what am I good at? What am I good at? Well, I already knew as a young age. I was like, I'm good at talking myself out of situations, and that has always been a gift. I've always had a gift of performance, and so to speak. So it's like that's what I knew what I wanted to be. I knew that I wanted to be in this type of element. I love sports. I love talking about sports. I love to be able to express myself in a certain way. So I already knew what I was going to be at a young age, but you gotta you have to know yourself. All right. You gotta know thyself. Like K Style always say, know thyself. You gotta be able to know who you are. If you don't know who you are, you're just gonna be blown with the wind. And look, you're gonna be everybody's favorite player. You're gonna be everybody's favorite player. I don't care about look, it's some people I just don't like. I don't want look, I don't want you to like me. I don't want to like you. All right. I know that probably sounds harsh, but it's some people out here you just never going to like, and they never going to like you, and you have to be okay with that. And that's why I said you have to be the best version of yourself. Understand who you are, understand what your lane is, and become the best version of that. Like I said, we our job here at AFN has always been one thing: help others find themselves. We always stated that. Try to find the best version of yourself. Because if you look at my earlier videos, you look at the early days of K Style, you look at the early days of Jude, man, we are nowhere near where we were. We so much better, but we found who we were. So that's that's the moral of the story today. So K Style, take us out, bro.
I'm gonna leave out by saying this, man. All is one. Every emotion, every tear, every joyous moment. As a sports fan, as in life, all is one. You, you right there. If you don't love yourself, then you're doing yourself the greatest disservice of all. Validation will never give you joy like you give yourself joy.
You.
You. So we appreciate y'all tuning in. Like I said, once again, go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and like, share the Heavy Hitters Live, Jew Talk Sports, Mad Mike Sports, Mad Mike Network, Six Man Combo, Atlanta Falcon Nation. Like I said, we still got the red and black event coming up. So y'all make sure
Mm-hmm.
y'all hit this Maggie T up as well as Mad Mike Sports for more information. So till next time, people, we ain't here to play.
Oh no.
We here to stay.
Oh yeah. Dig it.
You ain't gotta go home.
But you got to get the heck out of here. Oh yeah.
And remember, the villain is always in front of you. Deuces.